We now turn our attention to boxing and the upcoming fight taking place on the 27th of October 2018. It's taking place in the Arena Armik, I think it's pronounced, in Bulgaria, Sofia, and it's a fight that will be contested between Hughie and Kubrat Pulev. It's a very interesting fight. It's an important fight for both fighters. Pulev, who's had scheduled bouts against Anthony Joshua and then subsequently had to pull out for injury. Hughie had his title shot against Joseph Parker, didn't go the way he wanted, lost out on points. It's a big fight for both. Whoever wins the fight will be mandated to fight for the IBF title against Joshua. So there's an awful lot on the line. I think Hughie's taken on a big challenge going over to Bulgaria. Nobody really wanted to go over to Bulgaria and face Pulev. It's a tough test. Pulev's an experienced operator. It's viewed that going to Bulgaria is difficult. Obviously, there's a feeling that the judges will be on the side of Pulev, which is, it's fair enough to think of. But Fury is the one who's actually stepped up and taken the challenge, and it's a big opportunity for him. He's got a point to prove after the Parker situation, had a shot at the title. I don't think he let his hands go enough in that. He did reasonably well, but he was on his bike the whole fight, was maintaining distance, sort of running around the ring, it was almost like. And I don't think he put in the sort of shift that he'd want to put in. Parker won the fight, and it was. I think it was close. I don't think either of them set the world on fire in that fight, but I don't think Fury did enough to rip the title from Joseph Parker's grasp, the WBO title. And he'll know that. Peter Fury will have looked at that, and they will have made adjustments to his style. He looked impressive against Sexton last time out. Sam Sexton, you'd expect Fury to put Sam Sexton away. Sexton's been British level for a long time. He's never really looked at getting anywhere past British level. So you'd expect Fury to dispatch him, and he did. It was impressive. It was a stoppage. He did what he had to do. Fury looked pretty good. He looked like he's been training hard, maintained distance well as he always does. Superb jab. A better work rate against Sexton, but obviously you'd assume it's easier to land on Sexton than it would be on a Joseph Parker. But did what he had to do, got the job done, and now he's got this fight against Pulev. Pulev, 37 years old, Fury, 24 years old. So there's an athletic advantage for Fury, and there's a youth advantage. A lot of people have talked about the experience of Pulev. Pulev has been around for a long time. I don't think he's had as many fights as he could have had in that time. I think if you look at his record, his fights, there's not that many fights happening every year. But he has had a fight with Vladimir Klitschko. He lost by knockout in the end of 2014, so that's quite a while ago. And that's the only loss on his record. Notable wins on his record. He's got a win over Chisora. A split decision win. I seem to remember that was reasonably close. I think he was the rightful winner there. He got past Chisora. And recent wins, Samuel Peter and Kevin Johnson. So his last two opponents from December 2016, he's fought Sam Peter then, and then he's fought Kevin Johnson in April 2017. Those are not the sort of fights that are going to prepare you for a challenge like Fury. Those are not the sort of fights of someone who wants to stay fit and active at the top level. Kevin Johnson is, Dubois fought him the other week. I mean, he's got a reasonable record, but he's at journeyman gatekeeper level. And Samuel Peter didn't fight for years before when Pulev fought him in December 16. Peter had been inactive. He was basically retired and then came back probably. I don't know why. I don't want to say why, but often boxers come back if they're offered a nice check or whatever. And he stopped Peter, and Johnson's actually gone the distance. I don't think that's a good sign for Pulev. He should have been dispatching Kevin Johnson. Johnson is durable. We just saw him the other week or two ago. He went the distance with Dubois. Someone experienced like Pulev, a power puncher like Pulev. You'd expect him to knock out Johnson. He went the distance. So I think it's fair to say Pulev's recent fights, there's not much, you can't say much positive about them really. Johnson should have stopped him. Samuel Peter stopped him, so what? Should have been fighting someone a bit more dangerous to get some practice at the elite level. And he got past Chisora. It's always hard to get past Chisora because he's durable. And he gives everyone a hard night's work. And he's had that recent resurgence now, Chisora, after that Takam knockout. And we're going to see what he does if he gets in the ring with Dylan White. And they're talking about there being a White Chisora fight in December on pay-per-view. So that could possibly come through. But anyway, the point I'm making is Pulev hasn't been fighting at the highest level, and I don't think that helps him. Hughie Fury, even though he lost to Parker, he was in with Joseph Parker. Parker's an elite level operator. He's a top five, top six, certainly, without question, top six heavyweight, even though he's lost his last two. He was a WBO champion. He's lost two difficult fights. His last two, Dylan White and Anthony Joshua. There's no shame in losing to either of those. So Hughie Fury's been in at a higher level, and I think this fight is, to me, it's looking like a situation. Both of them have got reasonable power. Pulev certainly has got power, but I think he'd have to land square on you. I don't know if Pulev has got that land flush really, and Pulev is a bit slow. I don't know if it's going to be that easy to land on someone like Hughie Fury. Hughie Fury dances around the ring. He's got very good footwork, very good athleticism, being only 24 years old. I think it's going to be difficult for Pulev to land with the sort of power he's going to need to finish off Fury. Fury, the ability is there to stop Pulev, but Pulev is reasonably tough. He's very experienced. He's very cautious in his style. They're both good at maintaining rage. They've both got a good jab. So that, to me, makes it sound like it's going to be some sort of game of chess. It's not going to be a knockout. It's not going to be a knockout, swinging all over the place classic. It's possible that this fight could be pretty boring, to be honest. It's got that potential. If Pulev stays cautious, if Pulev maintains his distance, works his jab, remains cautious, looking for the right hand, and then Hughie Fury is on his bike dancing around the ring, keeping it at range the whole fight, I don't see, how we're going to get a knockout unless someone tires. So I could see this going to points. In terms of the betting, we've got Kubrat Pulev 3-4. We've got the draw 25-1. We've got Hughie Fury 13-10. Those odds, they look reasonably accurate. I think there might be a slither of value for Fury, in that I think it's a genuine 50-50 fight. But you then give Pulev a slight edge because it's in Bulgaria, so with the judges. Him fighting at home, it's quite a difficult place to go away. You might give Pulev an edge, so you might have Pulev 4-5, and then you'd have Fury 5-4. The way the odds are placed, there's a little bit of value for Fury. I think Pulev is slightly short. Bearing in mind it's roughly a 50-50 fight. It's a difficult fight. It's a tough fight. It's not an easy one to call. Fury going abroad is a test, but we've seen Tyson Fury go abroad and beat Vladimir Klitschko in Germany. We know they've got that fighting mentality in that camp. He had Peter Fury in his corner at the time, then Tyson Fury. Peter Fury will be in Hughie Fury's corner when he goes to Bulgaria. They're not bothered about going to fight on the road. They're a fighting family, and they'll be up for this challenge. Peter Fury is guiding Hughie Fury's career. They would have picked up Pulev and thought of all the difficult fights that are around. It's a tough fight taking Pulev and going to Bulgaria. You don't take that lightly, but they've looked at their options and have thought this is probably the best route for Hughie Fury at this stage. And I don't think Peter Fury would put him in there if he didn't think there was a chance that he could take the title, win the fight and become the IBF mandatory challenger to Anthony Joshua. So I think Fury, he's got the youth, he's got the work rate. He knows now that he can't just dance around the ring and be evasive and not put in a decent shift and put in the work rate. He's got to throw punches, he's got to let the right hand go. He has got a tremendous jab, but he's got to find opportunities to release that right hand. He's the quicker fighter. I think Pulev at 37 years old, Fury at 24. Fury will have the speed advantage. So I think Fury can pull this off. I think 13-10, there's a slither of value there. I don't think it's the best odds in the world, but as I said, I think it's a 50-50 to have Pulev at 3-4 and Fury at 13-10. You'll be looking towards Fury. But let's not write off Kubrat Pulev. He's been around a long time. Very experienced. He's a very tall man. He's physically imposing. A lot's going to matter about whether Pulev is 100% hungry and 100% focused for this fight. How much does Pulev want it? He's had those chances against Joshua, and then he's pulled out with injury or for whatever reason they haven't come through. He's 37 now. It is last chance saloon for him. His last two fights that he's picked don't show a great amount of ambition. They're just, I don't know what he was thinking. Sam Peter and Johnson, I think he just easy paychecks, It didn't show someone who wants to push themselves and stretch themselves. It's going to depend on Pulev's mentality. Fury's come in, he's hungry. Point to prove after Parker. not getting that victory and winning the WBO title. I'm gonna. It's a close fight, but I'm gonna go with Hughie Fury at 13-10. I think that is the way to go on this one. I think it's going to be a game of chess. I think it's going to be a cagey fight early on. If one of them tires, it could present an opportunity for the opposition fighter. I don't expect Fury will tire. He's gone a distance many times. So has Pulev. Fury's done it, on his bike, moving around the ring, expending a lot of energy, and he's still been fresh. He's gone a distance with Parker quite easily, and I think he'll have that fitness, stamina, endurance edge over the older man Kubrat Pulev. So if either of them is going to tire, I think it will be Pulev. But overall, looking at the whole situation, I'd side with Fury. Of course, a lot of people are going to say, I've said that it's going to go to points. A lot of people will say, well, if it goes to points, surely Pulev has the edge, being at home in Bulgaria. I just think Fury will have made the mental adjustments with Peter Fury after not putting in enough work against Joseph Parker. They won't make that same mistake again. They know they're fighting abroad. They know they've really got to go for a stoppage. They're fighting abroad. They're up against it already, so they've got to put out a decent work rate. They've got to look to win rounds convincingly, and so I think Hughie Fury will do enough. I think it's his time. 24 years old. He's very experienced for a 24-year-old as well. He's got the experience of more like a 30-year-old. The amount of fights he's had, he started very young, and I think it's time he comes on. He's got the camp, he's got the team, he's got the experience. Pulev certainly has his chances, but as far as I'm concerned, my recommendation is Hughie Fury at 13-10 in this one.